She stalked her husband for 2 years before she formally met him. This is a juicy one. We gotta get into this now. Okay, so the original post was June 30th, 2023, and it goes, I, 24 female, married my husband, 28 male, about a year and a half ago. The first time I saw my husband, I was a freshman in high school and he was a freshman in college. He was walking his dog at the park when he stopped to talk to my brother, 27 male, because they happened to go to high school together. That was the moment I became hooked. The same day I found his Instagram, his family's social media, and also where he lived since my brother offered to walk him home while I tagged along. When I got home that day, I knew I wanted him. But of course, I was only 14 and he was 18, so I came up with a plan. Hold on. She was really plotting. She said she came up with a plan. Okay, let's see what happened next. It goes, I found out his younger brother was only 1 year younger than me, and he will be attending my current high school. I figured I had to befriend his younger brother by any means possible next year when he moves up as a freshman while I become a sophomore, and I did it. It took around halfway of my junior year when we became best friends, and he invited me over regularly to his house to hang out. This is where I was able to befriend my current husband, mom, and God. Did she love to talk about him? From her, I found out what college he goes to, his past girlfriends, what his elementary / middle school was, his favorite / least favorite foods, his pet peeve, and what he liked. Eventually, my visits started getting more and more frequent. I formally met my current husband again. My current husband, I'll call him E. He would come over every other week, stay either Friday through Sunday or Saturday to Sunday. On those days, I would specifically wear my cutest outfits to impress him, and I'll also joke around with him a lot. Eventually, I befriended him as well. A little background on E. He is in a school record holder for a certain sport at my school, which I just so happened to do. And around halfway through my senior year, E came back during season to help coach the current high school athletes, which included me. In order to get some volunteer work hours in, I got to spend a lot of more time with him. I loved every second of it. We were friends before, but then we became much closer since I got to spend a lot of extra time with him after school, where sometimes he would even drive me home since we live relatively close. Fast forward to when I had to move to New York City for college. He moved with me since he coincidentally got a job near my college. She edited. She said, I lied. It wasn't a coincidence. I found out he got a job offer and applied to a college nearby his workplace. She was stalking. Okay. Being each other's only friend in the new state, we became incredibly close. We started dating when I was a sophomore in college. He proposed to me after I graduated, and we got married almost a year ago. He knows absolutely nothing now about how I truly know him, and he believed it was fate that brought us together through his brother, on whether or not I should tell him, or at least his younger brother, the truth. Since the only reason I befriend him was to get closer to E, I feel guilty every time he tells me about other love stories, because the truth is I've known about him for 10 years, while he'd known about me for only 7. Update. I read a reply saying the best thing for myself is to keep it a secret, which is what a lot of people are saying, but the best thing for him is to tell him. And I figured that person is right. I will be telling him Tuesday on his day off. He deserves to know who he married. Okay, so here is an update on July 6th. The original post, I believe it was, June 30th, 2023. So the update says July 6th, 2023. I told him this the 4th of July after the fireworks mostly ended and we were headed back. I asked him in the car, Wouldn't it have been weird if we met each other before the first time we actually met, but we just didn't think of each other as significant at that time? He smiled and turned to me saying, "Psh, that's impossible. There's no universe where we would have met and I would have not think of you as significant." That statement struck me in my heart because I knew I would soon prove every sentence was wrong, was very wrong. But I continued on with my plan anyways. What if I told you that we have met each other before the time I introduced you as before the time I introduced you as little brother friend? He looked at me like I was crazy, so when I pulled out the other side of the road, he pulled out my phone. I pulled out my phone to show him the post I put up here that explained everything. He took about 8 minutes and read the whole thing, and when he finished, he put the phone down and stared straight ahead, almost like he was dumbfounded, scared, and confused all at the same time. I started throwing out every excuse and apologized I could muster the moment about 15 minutes straight when he decided to tell me to stop, and I did. Then he just sat there and sobbed uncontrollably for about 10 minutes before he finally asked me how much of our relationship and how much of my identity was fabricated according for his likings, and I told him the honest truth. None of my personality or identity was fabricated, except for the fact of how we met. The only thing I've ever changed about myself to make him like me more was lying about me liking Chinese food. I hate Chinese food. But other than that, everything else was real. Although my friendship with his younger brother was built upon ill intentions, my friendship between his brother and I now are the most genuine friendships I've ever had. He just cried and told me that he does not want a divorce at all, but he wants us to have some time apart so he could absorb the truth I gave him. He said he also expects me to tell his brother and his mom this Friday because they deserve to know the truth as much as he did. I told him okay, and we drove the rest of the ride home in silence. When we got home, he hugged me and cried for about 5 minutes before he got out the car, packed his stuff, and said that he will be staying at a nearby hotel for now. He said that he knows he still loves me, but he does not yet know how to react to the fact that the beginning of our relationship was very orchestrated. To sum it up, I guess telling him was a success. I honestly don't know. He sent me a good night and I love you text last night while he was at the hotel. So I guess he's not as much mad as I may have betrayed. This is the second update. Woke up this morning to find that hubby not only lied about going to the hotel to stay at, he also lied about not wanting a divorce through a text message. He went to his family home, not a fucking hotel, told the entire family the story himself, probably exaggerated it too, to make me seem more crazy. His whole family wants nothing to do with me, claims I'm a psycho. He said he lied about going to a hotel because he knew if he told me the truth, I would try to stop him. Honestly, I feel so betrayed. I tried to be a good wife by showing him the truth in me, and this is what he does. I did all of this work to end up like this. Honestly, I kind of deserve it. I didn't even tell him in the first place because I didn't want to tell him in the first place because I felt bad. I told him because I had suspicion that he was catching on to the fact that I knew him for about 2.5 years before he knew me. Largely because I found out he was keeping old phone in his work desk. The old phone had screenshots of a lot of old Instagram posts, plans in my notes about him, etc. So I guess he truly loved me if he can't get past the honest confession like this. 1. I might update this in a few years when I find a new husband. LOL. Okay, so let me stop this recording. Again, I was stumbling a little bit and she messed up a little bit. Y'all will see it on the screen. But please, please, please let me know y'all thoughts about this one. I am dying to know. Me personally, who do y'all think is wrong? Who do y'all think is wrong? Because I'm in the middle. It's like, yes, you knew him 2 years prior. You stalked him prior. But I'm also leaning towards, it's been, You like, 10 years now. And did you really love her if you could just up and just leave her because of that reason? Yes, okay, yes, granted, she did betray him and his family to begin with. She didn't stalk this man, but come on now, y'all 10 years in. And I just feel like once y'all 10 years in, you could have just been mad. You could have went and told your family, but you don't just divorce your wife over this when y'all 10 years in. It's the fact that they're 10 years in, you guys. So just let me know y'all thoughts, and we can talk about it in the comments, and I will come back with some heat. Y'all already know. See y'all again here in a few days, sis. Bye.